Hey everyone, it's me Hallease, endeavoring to persevere as always. If you're new here, I make videos about my chaotic good life. Subscribe, follow, social media, blah, 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 all the things. Do it, do it, do it. Oh, we'll wait, do it. So last year I went freelance full-time as a digital storyteller and video producer from the video agency that I used to work for, and have been doing my own thing and owning my own production company for the past year and a half, almost 2 years. And I will say this year in 2019, I've learned a lot about just what kind of production company I want to run, who am I as this owner, runner, person, all that kind of crazy stuff. The biggest thing though has been when to say yes to projects. I think as freelancers, we're all kind of like, ooh, but this year I've really learned and kind of honed in on what my process is for saying yes to a project. I learned this from a mentor of mine this year, and every time I've considered it and used it when saying yes or no to projects, it's really helped just keep me grounded and motivated and just knowing my motivation and why I'm doing the work. And I wanted to share it with you because maybe it'll help you out if you're starting out, or if you're kind of gotten a few years in the game, some skin in the game, and you just need that pep talk, if you will. I'm here to help, so let's get into it. So when you're thinking about saying yes to a project, think about it in terms of a triangle. Or if you want, you can think of it as a checklist, but I like the triangle metaphor more because I'm more visual, and a triangle is super sturdy, you know? Sturdy. Anyway, triangle. The first thing that you want to make sure a project has if you're gonna say yes to it is budget. Now, depending on where you are in your freelancing journey, the word budget can mean a lot of different things, but ideally, I'm gonna speak it for you. I hope you are receiving financial compensation for your creative skill set. I'm gonna go ahead and speak it for you. You want to make sure that the project has a decent budget. And if it has a lower budget, then hopefully it can make up for that in the other two categories or two checklists of your triangle. I personally am not a big fan of the whole like this will give you exposure or experience bit. I just feel like pay people something, you know? The second thing is creativity. So maybe the budget is low, but creatively, is it fulfilling something within you? I know for me, I'm constantly battling between the practical, pragmatic side, the business owner side of myself, and the sort of artist, creative side who just wants to work on something cool with people and meet new people and all that kind of stuff. Maybe if you're a filmmaker, for example, the project will help you practice your cinematography, or it'll give you a chance to use a piece of equipment that you've purchased but you haven't really had the opportunity to use yet. Or maybe if you're a photographer, this project will help you think about composition, think about framing. Maybe you've never gotten to work with a model, but this project will finally let you get to work with models, because before you were just doing sort of more abstract photography, or you're working with just product photography or something like that. So creativity, as long as the project is giving you some type of new challenge or allowing you to flex and grow a skill set that you already have, that's another reason to maybe consider saying yes to the project. And the third part of your triangle, the reason to say yes, is for your network. Now, as a freelancer, you're always looking for opportunities to expand your network. I know me, I'm an introvert. I'm not finna go to no networking event or anything like that. And what I've learned so far is that word of mouth has really helped me a lot in my production company and in my business, letting my work speak for itself, letting my customer service speak for itself when working with clients and all of that. So the third thing is the potential of a project being able to expand your network and get you in front of people who could potentially hire you again for future work, or collaborating with new people that expand your network. So that way, maybe if you do something specific like illustrations and they're a producer, you get to work with them, and the next time they hear about a good illustration job, they forward the person to you, etc. So keeping those three things in mind, a prime example of this for me this year, I got to see this in practice quite a bit. As a freelancer, you're always scared to say no because you don't know what could lead to what. But at the end of the day, I think it's really important to not undersell yourself too much, and to try to find projects that at least check two of these three boxes, or if you like the triangle that I said, has at least two sides of your triangle, because potentially if it has two, then it'll probably get you the third one eventually. So earlier this year, we produced a, what are they calling it now? Branded storytelling? I think that's what they're calling it now. Earlier this year, my production company produced a branded storytelling video for a nonprofit after-school program that focuses on cultivating creativity within kids. It was a really fun video to do because I personally have a soft spot for education and kids in general. So if it's anything with that, I'm gonna be a little like, okay, let's do it. So at that point, even though it was a lower budget project, the pricing of the video was just enough for me to cover some of the overhead costs of running the production company and sort of keep the lights on, if you will. We kind of figured out what that number was for where we were at that time and allowed them to have that be the budget. So for where we were at the time, it checked that side of our triangle. The second thing though, and what was the main reason for why I really wanted to do the project, was because at that point I had just upgraded my main camera, the A7 III, and I had purchased a new Tamron lens as well. And I really wanted to get back into practicing my cinematography and my lighting skills. And I really also wanted to get back into directing and interviewing people and getting them to feel comfortable in front of the camera so they can tell their story of their business, of their nonprofit well. So I really just wanted to make sure I didn't get rusty on those skills, and this gave me a great opportunity to do that. The other reason creatively why I wanted to do the project was because the year before I had purchased the Ronin S for the company, and while I had gotten to use it on a few gigs, I really hadn't gotten to use it as much as I would like. And so I saw the content of this video lending itself really well to filming with the Ronin S. And so that was another reason why creatively I was very excited about this project. What ended up happening though, because it checked at least two of the sides of my triangle, what inadvertently ended up happening was that it ended up being a really great networking piece. So after we completed the video, it did really well. And it ended up opening and expanding our network, so much so that by the end of the summer, we had produced for 3 other education nonprofits and essentially had quadrupled our income based on the budget for that one, directly because of that video. Getting an email saying, "We watched this video, can you make one for us now?" And it was with that we were able to up the budget, right? So ideally, you know, projects in general will check all 3 sides of your triangle, but I think realistically you can expect at least 2. If you start looking at projects in your inbox and they're not even checking one side of your triangle, then it's really going to be hard to find your motivation to do the project well. And that will end up being a reflection on your work ethic and also your reputation within the broader community as a freelancer. The last thing you want is to be known within your network as someone who's not putting their best foot forward and giving things their all. And I know as freelancers, it's really hard to not think of projects from a scarcity mindset and to think abundantly, but I would really stress that you try to think abundantly about anything that you're gonna work on, so that way you know your motivation behind doing a project, and you give your best work regardless of what the budget is, or if it's as creative as you would like, or if it's expanding your network or not. So keep that in mind as you move forward freelancing. I'm assuming in some type of creative field if you're watching this video. If you're new here, again, I'm Hallease. Subscribe, follow social media. Obviously there's something you're driving with if you made it this far in the video. Big shout out to my Patreon producers for sponsoring this video, because y'all have already seen this content and this is like the more snazzy version. If you're interested, there I answer questions about being a full-time creative and everything I'm working on with the production company. And I also give early access to videos and private weekly vlogs as well. So patreon.com/Hallease. Check out this video because YouTube thinks you'll like it for whatever reason, and check out this one because I think you'll like this one, because I like this one. I'm Hallease, and I'll see you when I see you.